Hi, my name's Talia. I'm a holistic esthetician. Welcome to my channel, True Beauty by Talia. I love to help overwhelmed women reconnect with beauty they can actually feel good in. So before we get into it, the purpose of this video is to help you reflect on how you're relating to beauty energy right now and where you can shift your mindset to allow more beauty. Let's talk about forcing versus allowing beauty. Forcing would be doing things to fit a specific standard, changing things about your appearance through means of harsh, invasive treatments. And when I talk about allowing beauty, what that means to me is taking care of your mind, body, and soul so that your beauty can shine through. So energy is neutral, and we as humans assign meaning to what the energy means through societal conditioning or personal experiences. So all energies can be seen as either negative or positive, dark or light, empowering or disempowering. And we all experience these energies differently based on our own conditioning. So what is beauty energy neutrally? I see beauty energy as an extension of nature. It has to do with how we see and experience things in our surroundings, including people, including ourselves, including our own reflection. But it's much more of an experiential energy than anything else. We experience beauty. Okay, why does this matter? Why should you care? Why is this important for you actually glowing up, for you actually becoming a better looking version of yourself? Beauty is one of those things that we have a ton of conditioning on. I'm sure every single person has had something said about their appearance that they either didn't like or did like. All these things add up and create our experience of beauty. So when you want to change your appearance, when you see yourself and you're like, I need to glow up, I need something to change, I need to look more attractive, we want to make sure that we have as little conditioning around that as possible, because the conditioning will keep us in a loop of constantly striving for a version of ourselves that doesn't look like ourselves, a version of ourselves that there is no end in sight, a version of ourselves that is reliant on standards and trends to feel good about our appearance. So first, let's get into the dark aspects of beauty. Just a reminder, we're talking about beauty energy. I don't want people to confuse this with like dark feminine or light feminine. Like that's a completely different thing that I'm not talking about right now. When I say light and dark, I mean positive and negative. I mean disempowering and empowering. I mean opposite frequencies of the same energy. So let's talk about the dark aspects of beauty. I want to talk about this first because these are ways that you're relating to beauty that you're probably doing them right now. You're probably either stuck in a cycle of one of these things or all of these things, or these play as background conditioning in the choices that you make about your appearance. So the first is ego and survival need. We as humans evolved and created societal hierarchy with certain physical traits, certain physical standards in mind. There is a survival aspect to wanting to be physically attractive. It is to make sure that you fit into the group and that you gain societal benefit. This is on the darker aspect because it relies on external validation. There will never be, if you're running your beauty subconscious beliefs on this energy, you'll never actually be satisfied with your appearance because you're basing your value on other people's set of standards. If you are trying to change your appearance to manipulate how other people see you, there is an ego and survival aspect to that. Okay, the second is perfectionism. This is where you're doing your skincare routines, you're putting on makeup, and it feels like a chore. It feels like there's a part of you that can't stop doing these things because then you would feel bad about yourself. And also, you're constantly trying to find the perfect products, the perfect routine, perfect formula to fix all of your physical concerns. This perfectionism around beauty is negative and disempowering. And I think it's going to make more sense when I talk about the light and empowering aspects of beauty as to what are other options. Like, okay, I find my routines, my beauty routines, my beauty maintenance, I find it a chore, but how else can I relate to it? We'll get to that. And then the third is shame and blame. This is when you see something in the mirror and you feel a personal responsibility and a personal blame as to why you look a certain way. It's like getting a breakout, knowing why you got this breakout, knowing, maybe it's stemmed back to you eating foods that your body doesn't like, and then you feel really shameful. This is the more negative way to see and experience something that I'm going to talk about later. Let's get into the light aspects now, because the first one plays off of that last one. So now in the light category, one is neutral reflection. And this kind of goes opposite of that shame and blame that we were talking about. Neutral reflection is when we can see what's in the mirror and we can understand that it is a reflection of our inner world, a reflection of all of the choices, all of the subconscious beliefs, all of the behaviors, everything that makes us up internally being projected externally. However, without judgment, without shame, without blame, we can use these signals as neutral guides to help us take care of ourselves better, to help guide us towards the love and nurturing that parts of ourselves are asking for, that then show up externally in our physical appearance as an imperfection or a flaw or just something that you have really grown to dislike. The second light aspect of beauty energy is true self-expression and self-discovery. So this kind of feeds off of that neutral reflection aspect to beauty that we can utilize, but it goes a little bit deeper. I see neutral reflection as listening to your body's needs, listening to your mind's needs. Like if you're stressed, if your body needs something that needs to be taken care of. Where I see true self-expression and self-discovery is more on the soul aspect, the spirit, because that is also reflected to us in our physical appearance. I know that can be a little controversial. I know there's a lot of you are not your appearance, which you're not. You're not anything about yourself, but everything is a reflection of what you are. Does that make sense? Your soul value is not in your reflection, but your reflection is a reflection of your soul's value. I see this also as the opposite side of the energy of the ego survival need dark aspect of beauty. This is doing things for yourself. This is, it could be as simple as like getting the haircut that you want, doing your makeup a certain way that feels like you. It is stepping into the essence of your soul. I don't know how to explain this without, like, if you have ever done this or if you are in the process of doing this, you'll understand what I mean. You just look different. You experience your reflection differently when you are really embodying and nurturing your true essence, not for other people, not for fitting in, or not even for standing out, not for any external perception. The third light aspect of beauty is pleasure. And I see this as the opposite of perfectionism. There is so much pleasure in beauty. I think beauty at its most raw, light form is pleasure. It is really savoring and abundant and like juicy. And when you start to experience your reflection, experience what you see in the mirror as more of a neutral thing, and through that lens of self-discovery, self-expression, and understanding the signals that are in front of you, that's when the pleasure really comes through. It's like all those things that you're doing out of perfectionism become super enjoyable, but like not just like fleeting in the moment, like adding to cart enjoyable, like savoring fruit on a hot day enjoyable, pleasurable, like just true pleasure in nurturing yourself and experiencing yourself and being able to see in the mirror the essence of your true self. Okay, so those were the dark and light aspects of beauty that came to me, that came through me. Those are, I feel like, some very common ways that we have of relating to beauty right now in society right now. So you noticed you're experiencing, you are consuming beauty through the lens of this darker aspect. How do you shift to this lighter, more empowering, more positive aspect? I think the most foundational way to start would be through neutral reflection. I think it's looking in the mirror and really just acknowledging that everything that you see has been built from a collection of your subconscious beliefs, from all of your behaviors, from how you feel about yourself and how you feel about others. The way that you look is the result of so many different physical, emotional, mental, energetic layers. And the first thing that you can do to start experiencing beauty on your terms, not the terms of society, not the terms of ego and survival, not the terms of perfectionism or shame and blame, how to start experiencing neutral reflection, true self-expression and self-discovery and pleasure is to acknowledge that everything that you see in the mirror is a reflection of something within you without shame. Everything that is within you has either been done out of love. No, everything that's within you has been done out of love. But sometimes that love might look like protection, might look like safety that isn't at the benefit of your highest good. And your work is to see that and become curious about how you can show up for these parts of yourself that would benefit your highest good better. Okay, that's all I have for today. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what kind of resources would be helpful for you to shift into these more empowering aspects of beauty and away from the disempowering aspects of beauty. And if this stuff interests you, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.